Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new spoiler review here on Max Talks. My name is Max Hinderich. Today, we start our 6-week journey as we break down every week here on the channel, every Wednesday, Secret Invasion on Disney Plus, the brand new Marvel Cinematic Universe TV show on Disney Plus. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell, do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and box office breakdown show every single Monday. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. Did you like this first episode of Secret Invasion? Are you excited for the show? Are you just not? Are you done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now? Let me know in the comment section. And please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel. So overall, coming into this show, there was just not a lot of buzz. Now, I was excited for the show. Nick Fury having his own show. Ben Mendelsohn as Talos was my only really main positive with Captain Marvel movie. Agent Hill kind of doing like a very similar to Winter Soldier type vibe, like a spy, espionage, thriller type thing for the MCU. And right off the bat with this episode, I do want to say that I think, again, overall, we're just going to summarize what kind of happened in the episode, and then we'll get my thoughts. So we started the episode with Martin Freeman showing up as, we thought, Everett Ross. But this is where he kind of gets chased down by Talos, and we wrote that version of Ross was a Skrull, and that's how we kind of start the episode. Now, later in the episode, Hill does say that's a Ross imposter. So I think a lot of people were kind of shocked to see that Ross was actually a Skrull. I don't think that was the real Ross that we've seen from Civil War and 2 Black Panther movies. She did say specifically Ross imposter. So I do think Martin Freeman is still going to keep going here in the MCU. It would feel like a kind of waste if they kind of have him in all these 3 movies and then just kill him on a TV show. I understand why that wouldn't probably be a thing. That's just a show with Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury coming down from the plane. Now, I think they basically confirmed in this episode that Fury was on Earth during all the events of the MCU, and he left Earth, I think, after the blip, because again, the blip had a lot of different time changes. We're, I think, like 8 or so years removed from the blip at this point. So I think so. I do feel like that. I guess Nick Fury's been in space for that long. The show really didn't confirm that. But this episode is about setting up the villain of the show, Gravik, who's played by Kingsley Ben-Adir, who obviously just played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami. Who is the leader, also with the help of Talos' daughter, who we found out in this episode, Gaia, played by Emilia Clarke. They're setting up this basically, the Skrulls don't have to camouflage themselves, and they can just be in their own skin in their own area. But the catch is that they're trying to basically destroy the Earth and make it basically this is their Skrull planet. Because again, that was the promise that Fury gave the Skrulls after Captain Marvel, that he would find them a planet salvageable and just for them, which obviously has not happened. And this is what Grandick wants to do. So I do think that's a very interesting part of the show right now, is Gravik and Kingsley Ben-Adir's performance, which is excellent. Fury also runs into Falsworth in this episode, played by Olivia Colman. This was a fantastic scene, and easily a stealing scene for Olivia Colman, who was fantastic in this back and forth with Samuel Jackson. Very, very funny, but also she's definitely feels like a threat to Fury and the people who are going after the Skrulls. Again, she's also going after Gravik, but in very different ways. So there's kind of 3 different people involved. You have Fury's own group with Fury, Hill, and Talos, and then you also have MI6 people with Falsworth, and they also have obviously the villain Skrulls led by Gravik. We also know this episode that Talos' wife did die. We last saw her in the post-credit scene Spider-Man Far From Home, impersonating herself as Hill in the post-credit scene of Far From Home. And that basically that whole movie was Talos' wife. And this sets up a pretty big scene reveal in the episode where they're kind of like following Gaia, I think, or Gaia. Sorry, Gaia is her name, Emilia Clarke. And yet the scene where Talos does reveal that basically they are father and daughter. Now, I wish in the promotion and the actors themselves just didn't promote that this was a father-daughter relationship before the show started. I think it would have been a nice twist to know that Talos is actually Gaia's father. But because you kind of already knew, it kind of took a lot of the emotion out of the scene, you already knowing that they were father-daughter. But Mendelsohn and Emilia Clarke have really good chemistry, and you think Gia is like helping out Talos a little bit in this episode by telling him about the 3 bags and they're marked and all of these things. And it was all a trick by Gravik to blow up those people in Russia. And again, this was a flat out series. There were a couple good jokes. I think the one joke about Talos being like close to 40 years old in Earth years and him not having his midlife crisis yet. And he said, "What was yours?" And he says, "Was the Avengers." That was a really good joke. There were a couple, again, Olivia Colman hit up a lot of the comedy too in this episode, but it wasn't heavily, I think the comedy just didn't feel forced. I think it's been a lot of MCU content as of late has just been forced down your throat MCU comedy. And this, I think, is a breath of fresh air for the MCU, this show, because it is very much a serious show. A lot of, and especially how the end of the show with Hill's death was a surprise. I was not expecting Hill to be killed off this early in the show. Again, she's in all the promotion for the show. Again, Cobie Smulders, who's been playing Maria Hill, has played her since the very first Avengers film in 2012 now. She's been the character for 11 years, which again is crazy to think about how long she has been playing that character. She was in the first Avengers, very featured in Winter Soldier, in Age of Ultron. I'm just running through all of it. She's uncredited in that, that post-credits scene in Infinity War. She was in a bits and pieces of Endgame, even voicing the character in What If. So she's been playing this character for a long time in a lot of different movies. And that was a big shocker death. She has a very good scene with Fury at the bar, and which basically she didn't even want Fury back. She says, like, "I'm a friend and you have never tried to contact me," or anything like that. There was a good chess scene that was really good. But the big thing that I love about the episode was Gravik's basically was there every step of the way with Fury. The girl who we saw outside, the guy at the bar, the girl who was making out when he walked by. Gravik was always close by, knowing every single move. And it just made Gravik a real threat to the show, that he could just be anyone that you can see. And I think the who's who type situation I like a lot. And I think it brings a lot of intensity to the show, not knowing if people are Skrulls or not, how close is truly Gravik. And Gravik was really close throughout this entire, which gives episode, gives a good reveal to him being the person who blows everyone up at the end. And he also turns into Nick Fury to kill Maria Hill. And Maria Hill's last memory is that Nick Fury is the one who killed him. Because if you even put the audio up a bit, you can hear when she dies, and when the actual Fury comes up and she says, "It was you." It was a pretty bleak ending, especially when the first credit that came up was special guest star Cobie Smulders. That was Cobie Smulders. That was very shocking. So I think it was a good shock appeal towards the end of the episode. I think now, while Maria Hill isn't this major character, I think she is. I think a lot of people thought she would be a major character for the show. And it gives this show tons of stakes, which I think a lot of MCU shows have really struggled with. And this show has stakes. And I also think it's great that it's not this portal multiverse thing. The Skrulls just want somewhere to live, and they were promised something by Nick Fury that they did not get. Talos also being this character who I find very fascinating, where he wants the Skrulls not to be taking over the planet, but he also doesn't want to kill any of his own people. I think that would be very interesting, which I think could lead, my bold prediction, could lead to Talos' death towards the end of the season, with his, basically, as Fury said, mercy being your weakness. I could see that being a possibility. But overall, it's a really good start to the show. I'm very excited week to week. It is only 6 episodes, which, again, we've seen a lot of MCU shows go 6 to 8 episodes. We'll see if this one finally knows how to pull off a 6-episode arc for a show. A lot of these Disney Plus shows really struggle with 6 episodes, so we shall see. But overall, that was a good start for the show. I really enjoyed it. It was just, felt like a completely different part of the MCU, which I liked a lot. So I'll be back here this upcoming Wednesday. I couldn't review this show actually on Wednesday because I had something personal come up that I was not here at my home available to do. So every Wednesday, starting this upcoming Wednesday, I'll have my brand new spoiler review of Secret Invasion here on the channel. So please subscribe, ring the bell. More videos are coming. I'll see you guys soon.